Happy Monday. Thanks for starting your week off with a Moxi Monday. My name is JD. I am your Digital Marketing and Technologies Manager, and today we're talking about custom searches. Now, if you have been in your Moxi site before, really put a little bit of effort into it, you probably know about custom searches. The idea being literally, it is a search that, let me show you an example right now. I don't know if Jeff Scomp's on the call, but I'm going to use him as an example. Share my screen. If you look across the top up here, the Traverse City home team, Jeff and Aubrey, have custom searches right across the top up here. Now what happens if you click on any of these, if I click on Old Mission Peninsula, for example, it's going to take you to a search on your Moxi site that is specific to that area. So my internet is going to be a little slow because I have my wife working on it as well downstairs, so it might take a second to load. But the overall idea is that you will be able to make a custom search directly for any sort of region you want, any sort of geographical area. Here we go. This one's the one. Oh, it worked right as I walked away from it. So here, looking at Leelanau County, any sort of geographical area, you can add any sort of price boundary. Basically, any sort of custom specific search you want to make within Moxi, you can do with the custom search. Any filter here, square footage, years built, property type, any of this stuff, you can make a custom search that you can add right to the top of your site. Now, there's a few benefits to this. One, obviously, is ease for your clients. They can click on any of the searches right here, and they can search that exact area. Number two, though, there is some SEO benefit, some search engine optimization benefit in doing this. I want to actually today show you guys three things in regards to custom searches. Number one, first and foremost, actually how to create a custom search. And then I want to show you two ways to leverage those searches. So that's what we're going to go into today. I'm going to hop right into it so that I'm respectful of your guys' time. Basically, there's two things you're going to want to do to start preparing for this. Number one is you want to go to your Moxi company site. It doesn't matter if you go to your specific one, meaning, JD Waldvogel.CB Great Lakes, or if you just go directly to CB Great Lakes or CB Schmidt, Ohio, or CB Florida Homes, or the RC21 site. Just go right here to the main CB Moxi site to search for homes. Now we're going to have this up in one tab, and we're going to go to another tab. And what we're going to do in this other tab is log into Moxi. Now, just as a reminder, my.schmidtresources.com, that's how we're going to get into Moxi. Now, I'm already signed in. As you can see, I signed right into my profile. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my website across the top here. And that's, of course, going to log me into the back end of my site, the site. From here, what I want us to do is you can either do one of two things. You can either literally go right here under Common Tasks where it says Create Custom Search Links, or what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go on the left sidebar over here, and I'm going to click on where it says Custom Search. They're both going to bring you to the same place, so it does not matter which one of these you press. So I'm going to click Custom Search, and the first thing I want to show you guys is these are all of the searches that I have saved right now in my area. Now I'm actually going to delete a couple of these because I want to use some as an example, and I end up using the same ones over and over. So I'm going to delete a few of these, but that's just for JD. You guys don't have to worry about that. It's not going to affect anything we're doing here. What we're actually going to do from here is after we've clicked on Custom Search, right up here it says All Custom Searches, and what we're going to do now is we're going to click Add New Search. So the big button up here, Add New, Add New Search. And it's going to say Add New. So, two parts to this. Number one, enter the title of your search, the custom search title. Now, as far as I can tell, this is going to be more organizational for you. This part won't be displayed publicly. Now, you'll probably copy something similar publicly, but this particular box is only for you. So, the easy thing is make it the way you make it something you're going to remember. I'm going to do Holland area luxury homes. So that's the search that I'm going to make. Holland area, luxury homes. So The next part is we need the custom search path. Now this is the part that's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to walk through this part with you guys because this is why we have our second tab up here. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to your Moxi site. Like we said earlier, we have the CB Great Lakes site up here, and I'm going to type in Holland, Michigan. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to search Holland, Michigan, because that's going to give me the base of what I'm looking at here. So we're going to wait for it to load. I'm actually going to zoom out over here on the right. You see my map. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here to give myself a bit of a, there we go, bit of a bigger area to play with. I'm going to drag the area. So this is what we're looking at. So my search that we created, if you remember the title of it, let me go back to it. Oh man, my search title is Holland Area Luxury Homes. So that's the search that I'm going to try to make. So first things first, I said Holland area. Now, you all know your markets better than anyone knows. So that's why it's going to be important for you to make the search that you need to make. And what I mean by that is I've got my Holland area search here. But if I zoom in just a little bit, yeah, because I clicked a stupid button, sorry. If I zoom in, I know, because I live in Holland, and now it's all going up. If I zoom in here, I know that there are some properties along the rest of Lake Makatawa here on the north and the south side, and I know that some luxury homes really go down the coast here, right along Lake Michigan. So I'm actually going to draw a custom boundary to not just include the actual city of Holland, but to include a bit more of the surrounding area. So I'm going to use the map down here in the lower right corner, like I said, just to zoom out a little bit to give me some more to play with. And I'm going to draw my own boundaries. So I'm going to go all the way up through West Olive up here in Port Sheldon, and then I'm going to go down to right, just for the sake of it, I'm going to include Saugatuck and Douglas down here, even though that's a pretty big area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on draw. And you see over here in this map area, guys, it says draw. Now you can do a radius, you can just plop a point down, but I like drawing because you can see how bad my art skills are. So I'm going to click draw, and then I'm going to click quick draw. And now I'm going to click and drag the area I want my map to be. So like I said, I'm going to start up here, and I'm clicking and dragging. I want the West Olive, I want Port Sheldon, I want this whole beach area over here, this whole lakefront area. And I'm changing my mind. I'm actually going to stop right about here and not include Saugatuck and Douglas. So I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to include Zeeland, because a lot of people who live in Holland also look in Zeeland. And just for the sake of it, I'm actually going to not include this Borkelo area, and I'm going to go up like this. So I made a weird shape, and it kind of makes, it kind of connects the points for me to make it fit more. But now I've got all the homes within this region. So it's not just the city of Holland anymore. I've used my beautiful drawing skills to include all of these other regions here. So that's the Holland area part of it done. Now the next part of it, like we discussed, is we want to make it a luxury search. All I have to do for that is go up here for price and just set a minimum price. So I'm going to make the minimum price $500,000 because that is at this point in time the luxury threshold in the area. And I'm going to click apply. And so now this list is just luxury homes in the Holland area. Now, I could think about this and I could say, you know what, there's one more thing that I want to make. I want to remove lots and land because I really just want it to be properties. You don't have to do that. That's something that I'm just kind of considering just to show you guys how this looks. So what you can do is go up here to filters, right along this search bar here, filters, and I'm just going to remove land and multifamily because I don't think that's going to be, some of these are going to be relevant. So I removed manufactured land and multifamily, and I'm going to click apply one more time. And now we're going to go down to 45 listings. So this is the search that I want. Now, when this is added to your site, like we're going to show you guys, this will always automatically update. It's not like this is going to be a static search. If I click on it today, it's going to show me these stats, or sorry, these listings. If I click on it a week from now, it's going to show me updated. If there's new listings on the market, if some are pending, it will be removed. So this is going to always be a live search. So here's what we need to do, guys. Once we have our search created, I want you to go up here to the URL. Now, this URL is going to be very long and messy. That is okay. Here's the easiest way to do it. Click on it once. If you're using Chrome or most other browsers, if you click on it once, it's going to highlight the entire link for you. So once it's highlighted, I want you to right-click and copy. We're going to take this entire URL back to this page here. And right where it says custom search path, I'm going to right-click and I'm going to paste. And boom, this entire super long URL is here. And you can see how long that is, how much I have to scroll in this box just to see the entire URL. Now, after we've pasted, there's one extra step that we need to do. And they have it laid out for you directly underneath. The path must begin with search slash. Search slash. For example search path, and you can see it starts with search slash and then everything there. Now, this is very easy to do because all we have to do is go to the very tip top of our URL up here, the very beginning of it, and you'll see it says https www.cvgreatlakes.com, and then it says search. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see this here. So this is my whole long, big, messy URL. But if we go to the very top, all we have to do is either go right here or highlight this where it has just the cvgreatlakes.com website and remove that. And just like that, the path begins with search, and we are good to go. So I'm now going to back out of here a little bit, make it a little less, big there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click Save. So remember, we gave it a title that we want to call it for organizational purposes, and then we added our custom search path. And to do that, we went to our main site, CB Great Lakes, CB Florida Homes, CB Schmidt, Ohio, and we simply made the search that we wanted to make. So I made it in Holland. I gave it a physical boundary that I drew. I changed my price, and I changed my filters here to remove land. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to click Save like I said. I added it, I pasted it, I made it so it starts with search, save. I'm going to give it a second, and boom, our search is updated. Now we've created our custom search. That's it. That's all you have to do is you make your search, you paste it, and then you remove that little beginning, and you've got your search created. Now, we're going to add it to our website. So what I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm going to actually add it to my site here. And right now I want to show you where it says. So if you look across the top of my page, you see it says Home, Communities, Luxury Magazine, and then it has some more options there. I'm going to add it right after Home. I want it to be the second thing people see along my search bar here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my back end over here, and I want to go to Site Pages. Now again, we're looking at the left-hand side. If I hover over Site Pages, it says Add New. Otherwise, I can literally click on Site Pages, and then up here, I can click on Add New. Again, guys, it will take you to the exact same link, the exact same place. So all I want to do is I'm going to click Add New right here. And then I'm going to click not Custom Page, Custom Search. And then I'm going to click Submit. Now this part's really easy. You're going to see a very similar screen. What do you want your title, the page title to be? And then you have to pick the custom search that you're trying to use. So we remember, I just created Holland Area Luxury Homes. That's the search we just created. So I'm going to type that. That's the one that I'm going to use. Now, this is where some of the SEO stuff starts to come in. Having these custom searches across the top of your website is powerful when it comes to search engine optimization. And, Google searches, Bing searches, stuff like that. But what's important is that you want to make sure that you title your search what you want the SEO to find. Here's what I mean. I will probably know in my area, will people be typing in Holland Area Luxury Homes? Or are they going to be typing in West Michigan Luxury Homes? Or Lake Michigan Luxury Homes? Or waterfront? You're going to know your region better than anyone else. I'm actually going to say Lake Michigan waterfront homes, because that might be what people are searching when they are searching for things on Google. So I'm going to title mine Lake Michigan waterfront homes, and I'm going to click Save, because I've made my title right here, and then I made my Holland area luxury homes right here, my search. So I click save. So this is going to add as a custom search to my, just like that, the page is updated. Now there's one more step, and then we're good to go. One more step, and we're good to go. I'm going to go back to my site pages here, because what happens is even though my search is created, they add it to the very bottom. You can see right here it says Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes. This very last tab, that's what we just made. Now, like I said, I want to have that right after my home on my navigation. So I'm going to click and drag, and I'm just going to bring it, and I'm going to hold it up here so it moves for me. See, it does that kind of clunky. I'm going to move it to the very tip top, and I'm going to let go of it right under home. So now you see home, and then Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes, and then communities and stuff like that. I've moved it to the very tip top. All you got to do at the end there is scroll to the bottom and make sure you click publish. In this lower right corner, guys, publish. And we'll see a little banner, navigation updated. Now, watch this. I'm going to go back to my website. You see it says home, communities, magazine, more. I'm just going to refresh my page. And just like that, there it is. Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes. The search that we just made is already there on my page. So if someone goes to my website and they see this search right here and they click on it, they're going to see that search we just created. Always live, all the time. No matter, like I said, it's going to have those. It's going to have those boundaries, and you can see it's taking its time to load because of our beautiful internet speeds today. It's going to have the boundaries I set. It's going to have the price that I set, and it's all going to be there live every time. So if you go one day, if you go a week later, it's always going to be live. So that's the easy and still very powerful way of adding these custom searches. You type the search in, you make the search, and then you simply add it as a search to your navigation bar. We're almost there. That is the way that I would recommend. Now, one question I get a lot is how many custom searches should I have on my page? Should I have 1? Should I have 10? Should I have 50? No, don't have 50. That almost defeats the purpose of them. But have any and all of them that are relevant to you. Do you have 4 or 5 specialty markets that you want to work? Do you have 4 or 5 specialty markets that are unique to your region? Make the searches that you guys think are going to make sense for your page. You can have 1, you can have 5, you can have a list of 10 or 15 if you want to. But the question then starts to become how many of them are actually going to be used. So I don't think it hurts to have, even as many as half a dozen on your page. Now, I don't know if I would list them all out across the top because it would take a lot of room. But having those custom searches ready to go is not a bad idea. So while this loads, I want to show you guys kind of a 201 level of a custom search. So before we move on there, does anybody have any questions? Because this chat box is empty. So there's either 50-some people on here who aren't actually here, or we're doing an all right job. Does anybody have any questions so far before I show you, like I said, the little 201 level of this stuff? And again, forgive my internet speeds for not loading the search. That's what, especially when you draw geographical boundaries, it can take a second to load.
Could you explain the part about where you changed you named the custom search one thing, but when you saved it, you called it West Michigan.
Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes.
The reason behind that, and
yeah, for sure. So, when we, as a quick recap, the term search engine optimization means, or SEO means search engine optimization, and what that means is, no, Greg, it does not. It does not. To answer your question directly, so the idea is what are people searching for, and trying to come up in that. So, for example, if I search on Google, if I go to Traverse City waterfront homes. Whoa, I'm drawing like crazy. Now, oh my gosh. There we go. Can't type this morning. Traverse City luxury homes. This is all the stuff that comes up. Now, the question is, what are people searching in your area? You are going to know that better. So, for, I'm trying to think of an example that would make sense. Let's use our Sunstar region of Florida, for example. If I go to cbfloridahomes.com and I search in Punta Gorda. Actually, no, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna go to Paradise. So if I go to Vero Beach, Florida, and I search here, you guys know that your local terminology better than I do in Michigan, or than I do in Ohio. So my point was that you might know your area, and this area might be called, I'm going a little too far out. This might be called the Treasure and Space Coast. But I don't know which part of it is Treasure Coast and which part of it is Space Coast because I don't live in that area. So if I were making a custom search here, I might say, as JD in Michigan, I might look at this and go, well, this is the Atlantic Ocean right here. So maybe I should call the search Atlantic Ocean Waterfront Homes. But everybody in Paradise is going to be screaming at me and say, that's not what it's called. That's not what people search. So what I was saying is make sure you title your header, when I mind, Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes, title it what you think people are going to be searching. If you think people are going to be searching Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes, because that's the terms that are used around here, that's great. If you think, going back to the Holland example, just because that's the area that I live in, maybe I want to do a custom search, not for Lake Michigan, but maybe I want to do a custom search just for Lake Macatawa, which is an inlet lake of Lake Michigan right here. That's Lake Macatawa. So my point is make sure you're titling your searches what A, actually makes sense, and what B, you think people are going to be searching. Because people might search for homes on Lake Macatawa. And that's not as busy of a search as Lake Michigan. So I like I said, I know I've said this phrase 2 or 3 times already, but title your search what you think people are going to be searching for. And I realized when I was making my search just now that Holland area homes is probably not what people are going to be searching because of that's not the way people search in this area. No one says the Holland area. They say Holland or West Michigan or Lake Michigan homes, something like that. So that's why I changed it. If you're smarter than me, which most of you people are, you would just do that from the get-go. I was just kind of using it as an example. So I want to show, and we had an agent ask if you add a bunch of searches and you create a little, how mine's communities and it's a drop-down, and you title your tab over here custom searches, and then you have them all listed here. Is that going to damage your SEO? And the answer is no. But I don't know if I would necessarily call the section custom searches. I might call it communities because custom searches sounds a little static, whereas communities, I can go, I can look at, and under communities, Grand Rapids luxury homes, condos in Holland, homes in Rockford. I get a little bit more there to, it just feels a little more natural as opposed to custom searches. But no, if you make a menu of them, Greg, you will not lose the SEO. So that's the stuff, guys. That in and of itself does a bunch for search engine optimization. I do want to take it to a 201 level real quick and add a custom page level to add a little bit more SEO to your page. But this, what we just covered, will be very powerful. So feel free to stick around if you want to. We try to keep it under 30. We're at 25 right now. So you could call us done for the day. But if you want to stick around for a bonus tip, we're going to go into that right now. So I want to show you guys an extra way to leverage your custom searches. And that's by actually not just adding it as a search like we did here, but I'm going to add it as a brand new custom page as opposed to just a search. So let me show you what that means. We're going to navigate to site pages like we've already done, like we're currently at. And from site pages, I'm going to click on add new. Again, just like we just did previously. But instead of switching it to custom search, I'm going to keep it right here at custom page. And I'm going to click submit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a page that includes my search, but has a little bit more information here. So I'm going to add a title. Now again, your title, you're going to want that title to be the same thing as you would just your custom search. So I'm going to make mine Lake Michigan Luxury Homes. Because ultimately, that is the search that I made. Lake Michigan Luxury Homes. That's what I'm going to use instead of the waterfront, just so we can keep them separate in terms of our training. Lake Michigan Luxury Homes. And again, if you've ever made a custom page before, you know that your next step is to go right here to Page Builder. I'm going to click Page Builder, and I'm going to click Leave. That's okay. It's going to launch me in a new tab here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add some extra stuff that helps with SEO. Now, we don't have time to get into an entirely huge, long search engine optimization training. That is its own day's worth of stuff. But the short thing that I want to talk to you guys about is that keywords are huge. So, if you want to show up in searches on Google, first of all, it is a long-term thing. It is very hard to build SEO nowadays, especially with your Zillows, your Realtor.coms, your national brokerages like us, thankfully. It's going to be hard for JD to get to #1 on Google for Holland real estate. But there are things you can do to help that. And one of the things that helps that is keywords. And the other part is hyper-local searches. Now, we might get to that in a couple minutes here if we have time. But I want to talk about adding those keywords. So basically, if I'm trying to get up in the searches, I want to have some specific terms on my website as much as possible. And those terms are going to be the things that people are searching for. Holland homes for sale, Holland real estate, luxury real estate, houses for sale, basically anything that people could be searching. But here's the thing. Google is smart. If you just add that list, if you just made a custom page on your site and you just added a list of that stuff, their bots that troll through all these websites, they're going to see that and know what you're trying to do. They're going to go, oh, this is somebody trying to get better SEO. That's not going to work. And they'll actually push that away instead of bringing it up. So what the hard thing to do is to add those keywords to your site in a way that feels natural and in a way that is basically not a list, but in a paragraph form or an informational form. So what I want to do is I want to do that and add our custom search to make a more powerful page. So I'm going to make this custom page. The first thing I'm going to do, guys, and it's a custom page, but it's going to be simple. I'm going to add a heading. So I'm going to click and drag that. Obviously, we're going to start with a heading. And I'm going to make my heading Lake Michigan Luxury Homes. Now, little SEO tip where it says H2, this HTML tag. If you can remember, make that an H1. Make it an H1 tag. And then I'm going to go to style over here. And I'm just going to play with the style a bit. I want it to be centered. So I'm going to kind of like the text, make it be centered. I want the size to be a little bit bigger over here, because I want this to be a title. I want it to look big and bold like that. I'm going to change the font to Georgia, because I always love a Georgia font, even though it might not be brand standard. I'm going to make it normal. Let's bold it. No, I don't like it bold. I'm going to make it normal. And just for kicks and giggles, I wouldn't recommend this. I'm going to make it green, because it doesn't make any sense, but I'm just showing you guys the stuff you can customize over here. So first thing I've done is I've added a header to my site to give it a title. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back up here to the add button, and I'm going to add a text editor. This is basically a paragraph. So I'm going to click and drag that right underneath. And I'm going to go, and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to keep it a Georgia font. I'm going to make this text, let's just make it purple. Ooh, yeah, right there, perfect. Make it that. And now I'm going to go back over here to where it says general, and I'm going to type my paragraph. So, this is where you're going to start to try to add keywords as naturally as possible. And I know that it's tricky. I'm going to give you an example. This is not, something you should hold as gospel. Obviously, it's just an example. But I'm going to try to type these phrases in as naturally as I can. The Holland, Michigan real estate market is on fire. Many people are searching for Holland homes for sale every single day. Of particular interest is the luxury market. Although these homes are priced higher, again, this is not great, are priced higher, it is still a very competitive market. I didn't spell competitive. Competitive market. I'm going to go to my next paragraph and say, this is partly due to the beautiful scenery Oops. The beautiful views of Lake Michigan available to these luxury homes. Lake Michigan, or the Holland area. Alright, I'm just going to skip all the spelling mistakes. The Holland area not only has beautiful scenic opportunities, but many desirable, but many lovely shops, restaurants, parks, activities, and more. So, as you can see, guys, what I'm trying to do, this makes the real estate, the homes for sale in Holland, very valuable. Below, I have a custom search of all available luxury properties in the Holland area, specifically Lake Michigan waterfront homes for sale. This search is always live and up to date with the newest information. So, I know that we spent some time typing there, but what I've done is I've used so many key phrases there that's going to help with my search. Holland, Michigan real estate market. Let's see this. So let's take a look. Actually, I'm going to add it up. Holland, Michigan real estate market, Holland homes for sale, luxury market, and then down here we have Lake Michigan, luxury homes. Again, we have Holland area again, Holland very valuable, custom search, luxury properties, Holland area, Lake Michigan. I put right there, just straight up, Lake Michigan waterfront homes for sale. I've added all of these phrases that will assist with my SEO. It's not going to shoot me up on day one. It's not going to shoot me up in month one. But it will help as I send people to this site, as I use it more and more. This will assist in your SEO. So now we've got the information. I want to add a couple of things here. I'm going to add a line that says, this search is always up to date with the newest information. But also feel free to search for any real estate in the West Michigan area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add two more things to this page, guys. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this plus again, and now we're going to go away from standard modules to widgets. I'm going to add two widgets here just to build the page out. Apologies. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and add a property search module. It's right at the bottom, and I'm going to add that right here underneath that paragraph. Now I have some options here. I'm going to use my second layout here. But what I'm going to be adding here, guys, is just your standard search. So right here, yeah, you know what? Now that I'm looking at that, I don't like the way that one looks. I'm going to go back to layout number 1 here. Click Save. There we go. I'm just going to add a normal search here just so they have the opportunity to search for other homes. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this widget section and I'm going to find Custom Searches module right here. I'm going to click and drag that underneath here, and then I'm going to find, again, now I'm going to add my custom search. So the title, I'm going to again call it Lake Michigan Luxury Homes. It's going to look a little repetitive, but again, the more SEO, the better. So Lake Michigan Luxury Homes, and then I'm going to choose from my custom search list that Holland area one that we created. Remember, this is the one we just created, so I'm going to add it there. Last thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to change the number of rows and columns. So right now you see we've got one row of 3 homes. I'm going to make it 2 rows, and I'm going to make it 4 listings per column. Or number. So now, and I'm going to click Save. Now you can see my search has this title, this header, my text here, a search for all homes, and then my Lake Michigan luxury home search right here. So it does display differently, obviously, than it does on the search tab, but I've got 2 rows here, and then if they want to go to the full search, they can click right here for See More Listings, and that's going to take them to the full thing. So now what I've done is I've created, it's the same thing at the end of the day. I'm leveraging a custom search, but now I've got a header and some more SEO friendly text here. So now that I'm done, I'm going to click done and then click publish. So now my new page is made. And then guys, just to move it around again, I'm going to go back to my website and I'm going to rearrange those listings, or sorry, those pages, just so I can have it right front and center for my page. And again, this is kind of an extra step. It does help with SEO a little bit more, obviously, but the other way, just adding the custom search, is also very powerful. So I'm going to go back to all pages, and I'm going to go down here to my brand new search that I made, Lake Michigan Luxury Homes, and just like earlier, I'm going to click and drag. So I'm going to scroll up to the top here, I'm going to put it right after home, and then finally I'm going to click publish. And just like that, it's done. So now I'm going to go back to my page, and you're going to see both examples that we've made here today. So Lake Michigan Luxury Homes, if I open that in a new tab, it's going to bring us to the page with my big header, with my text here about the area and some SEO, with my custom search and my standard search. All right there. And if I decide to just click on the other one that we made, the Lake Michigan Waterfront Homes, that's just going to take me right to the search. 2 ways to accomplish the same ultimate goal, which is build your SEO and add custom searches to your page. So, again, I know that was a lot. That was sort of a 2.0, a 201 like I mentioned. Does anybody have any questions? I know we went long today, but that was because we added that extra section. Adding those custom searches is a pretty, the first part that we were talking about, making the search themselves, it's a pretty intuitive process. Just making sure we add the searches right, and it can have a lot of benefit. It can really beef out your site, it can add a lot of content to your site, and it can help with your search engine optimization. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I don't see any other questions coming in. If you guys do have questions, as always, feel free to reach out to anybody on your Moxi team. Myself, to Judy, to Carrie, to Elizabeth. It's a very, very powerful team. We're all here to help. Thank you guys for your time. Start adding some searches to your pages, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you all.